Good morning, YouTube. I got a 2011 Nissan Altima. I actually got this job. I offered to take this job off my coworker. You know, I work on Hondas all the time, and it's not often you get to work on other vehicles. And this is more of a treat for me, so I can make videos on other makes. But I got a 2011 Nissan Altima. I almost said Honda there. Nissan Altima. This customer's complaint, I'll put it right here, says that has to top up the oil a liter every week, and it's also running rough because it's misfiring, and that came in like a week and a half ago. So even now, customer drove in here, and it's rough. The car is shaking because it's misfiring again. So it's doing the same thing after a week and a half, and it's misfiring again because it's burning oil. It's the spark plug. Previously, what he told me is the carbon on the spark plug kind of just filled in the gap of the spark plug, and it's just misfiring that way. So I'm gonna pull out the spark plug just to show you because it's misfiring again. We're gonna put in a used engine, so that's what I'm doing. So let's get right to it. I'm gonna pull out the spark plug just before I tear everything apart, and then I'll show you what the spark plugs look like. I can't remember what cylinder, but I'll ask the coworker beside me so I can pull it out, because he pulled it out, cleaned it all off, stuck it back in so it ran fine, but you know, it's still burning oil, and a week and a half later it's misfiring again. So I don't know if this is common for Nissans, but let me know down in the comments if you own a Nissan. Are they really bad for oil burning? Because this thing has 223,000 kilometers, almost 224. So I don't know, what is that, 160,000 miles or something like that? Yeah. Anyways, I'll pull out the spark plugs. We'll take a look at it. It's hot because this customer drove it here, misfiring. So anyways, I'll go grab the used engine as well. Alright, so pulled out the spark plug. As you can see, you see what I see? Me? Trevor? What about Trevor? Oh, calling me? Okay, hold on. Oh, this is ridiculous. Call me because I put in a wiper insert for a customer. We don't charge labor for a wiper insert. They just put it in, and the wiper insert was torn completely. So I'm pretty sure we had a meeting about this. You know, all the light bulbs and anything that's burnt out, wiper inserts, just do it, right? Don't have to get a customer approval. But you know, if Isaac calls back and say, hey, we didn't get approval for a wiper insert, I'm like, that's not what you discussed in our meetings. But anyways, so here's a spark plug. You see what I see? That porcelain's gone because it's burning oil. This is what it's supposed to look like. Kind of reminds me of you know, the Honda Odysseys that burn oil. You know, the V6 when they burn oil, the porcelain kind of is gone on the spark plug tip. So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much why we're putting a used engine in this thing. It's burning a ton of oil. From what the customer says, he has to top up a liter of oil every week. And yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go grab the used engine and I'm gonna start tearing stuff apart, drain the oil, drain the coolant. But yeah, if you guys are doing, you know, replacing engines, one advice, because I let my coworker know because he was doing the tranny on the Jeep. Worst case scenario, you can take out everything. You can take out the tranny and engine altogether, because they must have to make it easy at the factory to install it in the car. So you can actually just do it the same thing. Just keep that in mind. You know, don't you know, stress yourself out from, you know, having to figure out how to take the engine apart and all that kind of stuff. Just remember, they must have to make it easy at the factory to put it in the car to save money on labor. That's how, the worst case scenario, you take the engine and tranny out at the same time. That's pretty much it. That's how I always think about it. If you're ever doing an engine or a tranny, worst case scenario, remove everything. So yeah, usually I kind of look around and see what I got to remove when I take on something like this. When you're not familiar with the job, I usually like to look around and see what I'm looking at, like how the subframe comes out. Like, not often do I ever use like a shop manual on how to do things. I usually just look at how something is, how certain things are, like where the subframe is mounted, how the exhaust is mounted, and then just go from there. You don't always have to follow a shop manual unless you need special tools for whatever reason, right? So I tend to look around, see what needs to be removed, and then just do it. So yeah, but yeah, draining the oil and then draining the coolant. Oh man, why do I feel like I'm gonna get a face full of coolant already? hot coolant because this thing is burning hot. Taking the petcock out. It's just right there. Ooh. Ooh. All right, there, I'm just gonna let that drain. So our Nissan engine is just right here. It's gonna pull this out. That's a tranny from the Jeep that my coworker was doing. We also got a good used engine right there that's waiting to go into another customer. You might notice that there's some V6s, Honda V6s, with cylinder heads off of them because they had good heads that we needed for another car. We've been actually using old core engines with good parts to build one good engine because they discontinued the short block, so we still have a short block that we can use on these things. And yeah, they just burn oil. It's just, you know, some of them have when they burn oil, the cylinder head gets the valves get burnt up too. So just like the spark plugs on the Nissan, they go, the porcelain and everything burns up, and yeah. Oh, I thought nope, that's not a wheel lock. The head's just broken off of it. Oh, look at that. Broke off the head on the other one, too. So, the plan of attack here, I'm going to take the subframe off first. Because usually on a Honda, I take everything on top first before I start taking the subframe out. But a different scenario here because we're working on the Nissan. I'm gonna drop the subframe first and then look around to see what I gotta remove to drop the entire engine and transmission. So I'm gonna start with the steering. That's on the outside of the car, not on the inside. Oh man. Is it gonna play nice? Is it gonna slide off the steering shaft? Oh, of course not. Let me see. No, I'm gonna have to hammer on it to hit it up. One thing Honda did right is put the steering shaft connection on the inside of the car. Oh, that hurt. It's hot. So that way it's not all rusty like that, and you can get the steering shaft out easily. But it doesn't take much. I just get an air hammer, stick it in between the pinch, right, and it opens it up, and then yeah, it comes right off. But yeah, Honda definitely did it right by putting that where that connects to on the inside of the car, so it doesn't rust and you have trouble getting it off. So, plan of attack here. I am thinking about doing the subframe first, but just seeing what everything is mounted here, like this lower dog bone mount that, you know, connects the engine. Nothing really around it. I see a power steering line. I don't know if there's a connection. Oh yeah, there's a connection right there, so I can disconnect it there. And then nothing really in the front here. Probably a really long bolt for the. Now I gotta take this cover off too. So really, lower control arm, you gotta take that off. Sway bar links. Definitely gotta get this exhaust out. But those studs, actually I'm not too worried. I can just snap them and then I just drive them out or drill them out or whatever if I have to. Put new studs in. So everything can be doable, but this flex pipe doesn't look too great. It's not cracked, but I think that's just the outer layer. So yeah, I think to prevent doing too much removal or, you know, whatever, I just take these braces off and take the whole exhaust down, just like how I do on the Hondas. That way all I got to do is disconnect this side, because the used engine doesn't have a manifold. Probably have to suck out the AC, or once I have the subframe out, I can just unbolt it from the motor and just let it hang here, and then the engine can come out without me touching the AC. So that's the plan of attack here. So I'll start by taking the suspension components off. One thing I noticed, look how dry that tie rod is. Let me see if I can get this. So one thing with grease nipples on these sway bar links, it's great when you service them, right? But not so great when you don't service them, and that's because this happens and it dries out. So that's that, right? Also found that the engine mount on the top is broken, so yeah, but advisor said just minimal stuff just to get the thing running properly. So 15 fits on that fine, 16 not that feels more like a 16. I don't know, can't tell. The size has shrunk. So 16 on that seems fine. I don't really care if it snaps, because if I snap it, it's just, once I have the engine out, I'm just gonna get a torch and then I'm gonna get a vice grip and get it off. So not too worried, I can snap it. I'm just gonna take the whole exhaust out. Oh wow, so surprised. The nuts actually came off. Anyways, that makes me feel a lot better now. I'm gonna start taking these brackets off for the exhaust so I can drop the exhaust now. Actually, I feel really good about that. It might be a good day today. Got these bolts off. Alright, so exhaust is off. Now to deal with suspension. Oh, there's a washer on that? Look at that, now we got a Hemi. Working on Nissans and Dodges. Anyways, got the steering wheel off, or not the tie rod off. Nissan's been using kind of weird sizes. I've been using like 18s and 15s, and yeah, now I can just move the steering and I can put a chisel in there to spread them cheeks. Yeah, so I just hammer a chisel, right? And literally it just, it's free, you know? It's just basically free. So now I just do the same thing on the other side. Which I also got the tie rod off. Just gotta take the nut off and then spread the pinch bolt, and then yeah, this tie rod, not the tie rod, the lower ball joint should come out easy too. So Parrot knows locking pliers, works good. Link will be in the description if you want one. Alright, so it's the power steering line here. It's funny, everything is wet, but nothing's dripping. It's like some people might say it's leaking oil, but some people might say it's rust protection, you know? You ever watch that episode of The Simpsons where Marge was selling houses? Some people might say it's cozy. Get a bigger plier. Alright, so while that's draining, I'm gonna have to disconnect this power steering line because it runs up, bolts onto the back of the intake manifold, but it doesn't connect to anything here, so that should just come out with the steering rack, as you can see. Yeah, and then there's one connection right here that attaches to the body. So I'm gonna have to take that off, take the clips off the subframe, and I think this thing should be ready to drop out. And then I can start working on removing stuff up top once I get that bolt on top of the bracket on the power steering line. Right there. So, yeah. So I got that line off. It's hanging down there now, right? But I think we're pretty much done here for the subframe. Start pulling the axles out. Oh, I still gotta get those guys out. Ah, freak. See, coming down. What else am I stuck on? The lower ball joint. That's gonna pop right out. Same thing on this side. There we go. Pop right out. This thing can come down. Alright, so now that I got the subframe out, so much space. I don't even have to suck out the AC. I can just unbolt it. Get a bungee cord just hanging it off to the side here, and then you know, disconnect my hoses, tranny lines, anything else that's all attached to it. I'm gonna unbolt it from the tranny mount here, and then the tranny mount over there. I'm gonna go grab my table, and then just sit it on the table and drop the entire thing out. I also got to take the torque converter bolts off too, and yeah, and then we're gonna transfer everything onto that used engine over there. Like right there. doesn't come with manifolds or exhaust manifolds, so I got to transfer this one over. So, yeah. This should be the last one. Is that it? Rotate it. Or is there one more? Nope, we went all the way around. So here, you want to explain to the viewers the frustration when you bring other makes and models in here? You know?
Yeah, I'm fucking pissed.
He's pissed. Customer supplied brake pads and they're wrong pads. You know, well, now you just gotta wait because now you got.
He didn't know his rotors were metal on metal and came, so I found the metal on the inside pad on the right side, so he needs rotors as well.
So he didn't bring rotors. Customer only supplied brake pads.
The wrong pads.
Yeah, and the wrong pads. And no rotors because it's already on metal on metal.
Now I gotta wait.
Now he's gotta wait for get more parts. Now you're just stuck on the hoist. I'm gonna pop these axles out. Oh, I'm doing the extension. Nope. I've never seen this before. This whole axle just comes out of there. Look. Oh, I guess that's what that bracket is for. I guess I gotta pull the axle nut off, take it out of the hub, and then slide this whole thing out. It's kind of weird. I've never seen that before. The Honda one has the, on the pilots, they put the bolts on there, but then it corrodes in here and it's stuck in there. That one slid right out easy. Oh, now this side should just pop right out. I can get a good... I got a bigger pry bar. Got the bigger pry bar. Gonna pop it out. Yeah, nope. Alright, so I think most of the stuff I need to do underneath is done. I'm just gonna start up here. I've only removed the battery and the intake. I'm gonna free up some of the space over here so I can get all the stuff that's underneath the airbox, and this thing is super hard. And get that stuff out of the way. I hope the whole harness comes out with the engine, and all I have to do is once the engine's out, I just swap the harness over to the new, used engine, and hopefully that's all that is. Alright, so usually at this point where I have a good view of what's up here, especially when you're working on a car that you're not very familiar with, I like to look at the picture here of what my plan of attack is. So, like, for example, should I just do coolant hoses first? Or, because there is a harness, where's the best place to disconnect the harness? And it looks like this whole big harness just connects to the PCM here. Well, that's a good place to disconnect. Also got the coolant hoses in the back that goes to the heater core. You got the shifter cable. You got the fuel lines, evap lines. And then, where is this thing mounted? So I can take these 3 bolts, and then it can just drop out. Take one center bolt out here, and then that side can drop out, and and then all the other stuff is just and then there's the AC I haven't unbolted off the block yet, so I can bungee cord that later. So usually when you're unfamiliar with something and you're figuring out what to do, just take a look, have a set plan, and then just do it. I don't get Nissan, man. I don't know why can't they just have one bulk connector rather than throwing all the connectors inside the freaking fuse box, right? Not to disconnect every single one of them. And then this is not the harness that I need, but I gotta remove this part of the harness to get to the harness that's underneath. That's part of the main harness. Well, you gotta do that, man. And then the bottom one should unclip. So I unplug everything out of this bulk connector to get the harnesses disconnected from everything. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least Honda, just one big bulk connector, drop the whole engine and tranny out, and it's just fine. But I gotta figure out where all this, I had to separate this thing because not all of the harness connects to the fuse box, because this one goes to the fuse box, but I had to separate it through from this cable, and this one can come with the big harness, and this one I could just leave here. So yeah, I don't know. They can make these things, engineers, man, they can make these things so much easier to just take the engine out and put it back in. I don't know why they don't. So I got the engine sitting on a pallet and then on my table, and then so I'm just gonna loosen these bolts, just loosen for now, just to see how the engine sits on there, and I'm gonna move it around to see how it settles down on that pallet before I start lifting the car off the engine, I guess. So yeah, let's start doing that. Luckily, I don't know, it's weird using 16s. So I just loosen these bolts. Let's see how this settles down. See how everything just dropped right there. So that mount is loosened. Give it a good wiggle. I think it's gonna stay on that pallet. Got one more bolt here. I'm gonna loosen. Is that also a 16? It is not. Why can't they just use the same bolt for everything? That one's an 18. That was kind of weird. There's no consistency in bolt sizes. Okay, start lifting and see what it does. Alright, so that's everything out. As we were going up, I just, there were a couple of things that were still attached, like one vacuum line, and then there was a ground. This thing wouldn't pop out because it was stuck in it, so I took an air hammer and just went down on it while I lifted up the car a little, and it popped right out just fine. So now I'm just gonna, remove everything that I need to swap over to the used engine. I don't think I need because the used engine does have a block heater already installed to it. I don't know if it's a factory thing, but I do have to swap over the harness because they cut the other one where I just disconnected everything so I can reuse it. But other than that, I'm just gonna swap over everything, see what parts I need to swap over, and then get the used engine mounted onto this tranny. Here we go. I'll let you guys see what these exhaust ports look like. I don't know if you can see it. There's that one. That one. Oh yeah, there's chunks in there. And here are the intake ports. Oh, okay. There you go. Alright, so they wanted me to do other stuff, so that Nissan engine is on hold for now. So right now I gotta do injectors on a Honda Pilot 2017, but I'm gonna quickly do this and then I'll hop back onto the Nissan engine over there. Actually, I'm taking 3 hoists. One hoist, which is originally my hoist, that's down because you saw my YouTube shorts that it needs to be fixed. Plus it also has, I'm still waiting for the head to come back from the machine shop for my head gasket job on the Honda Accord. You know what they told us? The valve keepers exploded in their face, so they lost the valve keepers for 2 valves, and they were asking if they can get new valve keepers, and I was saying, how do you lose valve keepers, or how do they explode in your face? Because all you do is when you get a spring compressing tool, you push down on the valves, they come out, you get your magnet, and you remove them. Unless they're hitting it with a socket and it gets jammed up, and then it just bing, and then it flies away. I don't know what people are out there. You can't really trust people out there anymore. Not with fixing my hoist, not with people doing my cylinder heads. God damn. But anyways, I gotta get these injectors done. I don't get this. I wanted to change this engine mount because it's completely broken. Because I'm about to drop this engine back in the car, right? But Engineering, man. I guess I gotta take this strut brace. I think it goes underneath the cowl. I don't know. I think I just unbolt it on both sides, and maybe I'll lift it high enough to get it out. But anyways, engines is coming in. I swapped all the parts that I needed over, right? And yeah, I just wanted to change that engine mount before I completely put it in. But I guess I gotta. There's a few more extra steps to do that. All right, somebody's gonna tell me, it's just 2 bolts on each side. So I took the 2 bolts on this side and on that side, because they're in my hand, but it's more than 2 bolts. So all I did was grab a pry bar, lift it up a little bit, and then I was able to get that long bolt out and get this broken engine mount. All right, new engine mount, made in China. Because that's what parts department's got me. Flick that around. Line up the hole. So, grab my bolt here. Just gotta like that's all I needed. Oh, no, got it. There you go. Now that mounts in. Engine mount is in. I'm just lowering the hoist little by little, just to make sure everything all lines up, like this stud here for this transmission mount, and then make sure I wiggle, make sure everything goes down free, nothing's getting caught, like this fuel line on this coolant line, and then yeah, just gotta make sure everything is going in nice. Like this harness here. This one has a bracket. I might have to go back up again. Just a little bit. Because this harness is stuck. And then this is going to go back into the fuse box, PCM, stuff like that. So we're pretty much in. Gonna slowly drop it, and yeah, there we go. It's in the studs. This is close, so I can just put the long ass bolts in. Yeah, that's it. Then that's the engine in now. Make sure everything's all routed correctly. That nut is in here. Yeah, so we're ready to tighten the 2 mounts up, and then actually 3, because there's also a. Let me show you the the bolt that went into that in that engine mount. Completely, yeah, you can see that it's been broken for a while, because from the engine moving back and forth, it rubbed it smooth. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get this thing done. I also gotta change those sway bar links on the subframe while it's still out. All right, subframe is going up. I got the new tie rods on each side. I put a little bit of moly on the lower ball joints, and then also on the steering, the pinion shaft. So it's helped me slide it in easy. But other than that, subframe's gonna go back in, and this thing should be done pretty soon. Alright, so everything's back in. I already did everything up top. The only thing that's holding me back right now is this power steering line that I need the crush washers for the banjo bolt on this power steering line here that's hanging here. I mean, that's the only thing that's hanging me up. Now I'm trying to crush this crush washer for the exhaust that's in here. So there's still you can still see a gap. I'm trying to crush that exhaust gasket. I'm just doing it evenly at each of them, but other than that, Oh, also I'm gonna drain the oil and see if there's anything in there. Sounds like there's something in there, but just trying to crush this exhaust gasket. It's one of those. Where's the old one? Still on the floor. It's one of these things, right? And it just forms to the exhaust. But yeah, it's gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna go drain the oil, put fresh stuff in, put a new filter, and then hopefully that crush washer for the banjo bowl for the power steering line will come in. I told him like 2 days ago, like instead of just getting one crush washer, get the whole kit that has different sizes. That way, if we get the wrong size, right, I'm not waiting again. But you know, this is what happens when you work on more than one make. You can't just what do you call it, have parts for everything. Kind of rely on the parts department. But yeah, anyways, soon to be able to start this thing once I get that power steering line on. Drain this thing. You can see quick lube place left their mark. Oh, and this is loose. I wonder if there's anything in there. Oh, there's still stuff in there. That looks pretty black. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. It's like they never changed their oil. Actually no, I think it might be okay. Old filter there. Yeah. Other than that, I greased all the nipples for like the suspension. That's pretty much it. I'm still waiting for those crush washers, man. The longest waiting game. You know, you guys get to watch this, and it's only been like 30 minutes. But this car has been here for like a few days. Not only because, you know, waiting for parts and everything, but I keep getting pulled off to do other stuff like the injectors. And then after that day when I got pulled off to do injectors, we had to actually keep up with all the retail work because we were backed up. So, you know, when everybody's doing big jobs, it's you know, we get backed up quite a bit. But anyways, waiting game, yay. Okay, next day. Waited so long for those crush washers. 2 days for crush washer, can't believe it. But filled up all the fluids, and this is going to be the first start. So no start first try. Kind of sounds like no compression. Wants to start. I'm gonna get a battery charger. Okay, put a jumper battery on it. Oh, spinning a lot quicker. It's trying to start. It's trying to start. It's trying to start. It's almost there.
It's almost there.
It's almost there. It wants to start. Okay, we got it. We got it running. Cloud of smoke in the back. Oh yeah, cloud of smoke in the back. But anyways, you can see in the mirror. See a cloud of smoke back there. But yeah, now it's running. I'm gonna bleed everything out, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Go for a test drive. This actually sounds pretty good. So yeah, now it's running. Everything sounds good. I gotta put a little bit of a, you know, some of the intake back on. But other than that, this is pretty much done. I'm just gonna get it to operating temperature, let the coolant bleed out, and yeah. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. And if you want, you can go check down in the description below. There's an Amazon affiliate link to my Amazon affiliate store. If you buy something, I get a cut of you know, commission, and it'll help the channel greatly. But other than that, I'll see you next time.